G'day everyone, Ben the Spider Seeker here. Now it's been a while since I posted a video, and I thought the best way to get going again was just to do something. Now I run a relatively small local spider group on Facebook, and I was hoping before winter kicked in to get out for a walk and see what kind of invertebrates, and spiders in particular, we could find in our local wetlands in Goulburn. Unfortunately, social gatherings have been one of the victims of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Fortunately though, I'm still in an area where I can go for a walk with my son, so I thought I'd film our walk around the wetlands and encourage people just to get out a little bit and see what's there. And of the two entrances, this is the entrance I use. It's quite a nice view. It's really not captured completely on camera. And there's also a few rules, partially to protect you, partially the local wildlife and vegetation. The wetlands was built on the site of the Melbourne Place brickworks. Now I'm sure there's some local historians around who will know quite a lot more about the brickworks than I do. Unfortunately, my knowledge base is largely invertebrates despite my appreciation for the site. So I look forward to having a walk with some people that might have a bit more of a diverse knowledge base than myself. After a quick walk, in some areas you can see where the old bricks have been used quite effectively to decorate, say, big drainage channels. And after a little while, it didn't actually take long to spot our first spider. Judging by the web structure, it'll be a member of the Theridiidae family, like a covered spider or maybe even a redback. My son quite likes pointing out plants and animals on the walk. There's quite a few information panels around on the walk, largely about plants because, well, they don't move and they're easier to stick a sign on. The types of plants used apparently encourage a lot of wildlife to come and spend time there, and they're generally native to the area. A little further down the path is our first bird watching station. Now my son enjoyed climbing around on the seats and looking out for as many of the birds as he could see, which wasn't many because they were all hiding. This was also the area where we spotted our first invertebrate, other than spiders. This time it was a type of case moth from the Psychidae family. And while I was kneeling down taking a photo of the first one, I spotted a second one on the other side of the pole. So we stayed in the bird hide for a little while, and we just climbed around and generally kept our eye out for any birds or anything else we could see. But eventually, we did have to move on. A little further down the path, we found some information about some riparian tall open forests. And a little furthermore, we started seeing butterflies flying around the more open areas. And butterflies generally go by the bigger name Lepidoptera. They were just flying around, but none of them really stayed still long enough for me to get a decent photo, so we just enjoyed them flying around. There were also quite a few of these acacia trees that I quite like. Now, I've seen them in other areas where they attract quite a variety of beetles, butterflies, birds and other animals. I wasn't able to find a species label on any of them, but if someone knows what they are, please do tell me in the comments. I'd be interested to see if I can get one growing in my own yard. We moved on a little further, and we found a species of day-flying moth, Pina callisto, the pastured day moth. I took a still photo so we'll be able to see it a little better. And last year I even managed to find one of their larvae, or caterpillars, with quite nice red, yellow and blue markings. There seemed to be a lot of them flying around the open grassed areas, so that was nice. We moved on a little further to where we started to be able to see some kangaroos. They didn't seem particularly bothered by us, so we hung about for a little while. And then we moved on. When we were moving along, we spotted some people doing some work, so decided not to film them so much. And then we found the second bird hide. Now the second bird hide, again, it looked out onto the people doing the work, so it wasn't too interesting to look through. But on the path to it, we did find a few interesting things. Like we did find a skink, just a little skink, just hiding under the roots there. But we also spotted a slant-faced grasshopper from the Acrita genus. We found a small wolf spider from the Lycosidae family, and even a tiny jumping spider from the Salticidae family. The area was generally fairly moist and warm, so it had quite a few insects flying about and was generally pretty active in terms of wildlife. We moved on a little ways from the bird hide, and in this large grassed area I felt a bit of a tickle on my hand, so I had a look and found a tiny fly from the diptera order. I can't really ID it much better than that because it was, well, tiny and I couldn't see enough detail. So we kept moving on. It was quite a walk, and there was, bridges and some seats. There was also a little loop, but eventually we came to what appears to be the main entrance. It had a welcome sign and a small car park. And while I was walking around the car park, I spotted a white-faced heron. It did want to hang about for a chat, and quickly flew away. And while I did try to zoom in to have a better look, I only had my phone, so it didn't do a great job. A little further around the car park there was some information about a local land care group that helped out with the wetlands. And then a little further on, there was some information warning about eastern brown snakes and tiger snakes. Now I've personally rescued both species in the area, but I've also rescued a red-bellied black snake from a nearby property as well. And snakes are usually attracted to area where there's food, water and shelter, so wetlands would probably be almost ideal for them. A little further down the path, we came across a branch going to the third bird hide. This one was surrounded by bottlebrush bushes and jutted out a little bit into the actual wet area of the wetlands. And being bottlebushes, they had quite a few bees and wasps buzzing around, but none of them were all that interested in us because we weren't bothering them and they were busy with the flowers. We did look around a little bit for this bird hide, but someone was getting tired, so not too long. After looking at the bird hide, we moved on, heading back to the main path. And the main path started to look a little more familiar when we started walking past the wetlands and then past the branch where we originally walked off on the big loop. We walked past the first bird hide again and came to the entrance, where I found a butterfly flying around, so we decided to stop and enjoy it a little bit. After the butterfly flew away, we finally started walking down to the viewing platform. It's pretty clear that there's been some effort to grow a few more plants around the area, and just generally make it look a little nicer. But you can see, off towards the golf course there's some nice grass mown areas. Over here is the area where they're trying to grow a few more plants, and there was some swamp hens or something down in the water there. And it was generally just a nice view. And it was at this point, somewhere between enjoying a butterfly and walking down to see the wetlands, that someone fell asleep. So, it's a nice walk if you want to put a toddler to sleep, or just enjoy the view. And it's been great to finally get another video out. With times as complicated as they are at the moment, we might not be able to get out as much in big groups that we could at this time last year, but we can at least get out and keep sharing with others. Stay safe, stay healthy, and despite the distance, stay in touch. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'm working on a few videos at the moment about some spiders that I look forward to sharing. And if you're keen, like, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos if you haven't already. In the meantime, I've been Ben the Spider Seeker, and you've been great. Catch you next time.